What's up, guys? Welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 164. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM on Twitter, and I am joined over Discord by the host of Large Popcorn and video essayist Christian Macias at ISO Christian. We're by ourselves this week.
Hey, we're co-oping the podcast today. Dynamic duo.
Heck yeah.
I got to stop you before you even move on, because I'm going to start with my BS already, okay?
Okay.
Obviously, everyone has seen the title of the episode. Dan has labeled it, what do you call it? God of War Ragnarok versus Sonic Frontiers. Now, I don't know why these two are fighting in our title. Naturally, I had to put out a poll. Who would win in a fight? No prep time. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, or Kratos? Now, this is backfired because 54% of the votes so far are favoring Kratos over Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. How do you feel about that?
I think, Kratos is the freaking god. He kills gods, so I think that's...
What is Sonic?
That's fair, I guess, but, he's just a little puny little hedgehog, He can run fast.
Nobody understands the power of Sonic and teamwork, is what I'm saying. Like, when Sonic goes supersonic with his buddies, he can't lose. Kratos, on the verge of losing all the goddamn time.
That's I think Kratos is letting him win, right? I don't know.
All I'm saying is people are severely underrating Sonic and Co.
That's fair. That's fair. Sonic can hold his own when he's with his team. He can't handle anything by himself. Anywho.
Here's what I'll say.
Sorry.
Supersonic would body Kratos, but once that Spartan Rage comes out, I think Kratos would probably get the dub over Sonic.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
you're probably right. You're probably right.
That's kind of terrifying to think about, him just losing it on Sonic. Oh god.
I needed to jolly up the show and represent Ro in some capacity since he's not able to make it. So,
yep,
that was my contribution for Ro.
Ro's adamantly defending Sonic and team in the Twitter replies. So
good for him.
Yes. Anyways, Christian, thank you to everyone watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time on youtube.com/@podcastpxn. Sorry, that's a new @ there. And twitch.tv/podcastpxn as well. The topic of the show this week, Christian, is, as you already alluded to, God of War Ragnarok versus Sonic Frontiers. But first, the show always starts with the quick bites, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Christian, first item here. Stranger Things VR has been announced coming winter of 2023. We got a tweet from Stranger Things, a Twitter account that says, "Ever want to spend a day as Vecna? Well, now you can with Stranger Things VR coming in winter of 2023." Yeah, this is interesting, I guess. I want to see what the game actually entails. Obviously, they showed a little bit of a glimpse of it, and it looks really interesting. The art style looks cool, but yeah, I love me some Stranger Things. Let's get some of this action going, Christian.
I have something to say about this.
Okay.
Having bounced out of Stranger Things midway through season 2, I just couldn't anymore. It seems like I don't know, the least cool thing you could do in a VR game is be playing as Vecna.
What?
I don't know. I literally don't know. This is just me talking just to talk.
That's fair. That's fair. You need to freaking watch. Season 5 is absolutely incredible, Christian. Incredible.
One day.
I need to get you there. Moving on from there, Christian, the EU has opened up an in-depth investigation into Microsoft's acquisition of Activision and now has until March of 2023 to make a decision on where to go from there. Obviously, this is an interesting story because there's been a lot of questions on whether this acquisition should go through or will go through. Obviously, the greatest scrutiny they've received thus far has been from the EU, which is surprising because I think at the beginning people were questioning if the FCC in the United States was going to be the one that kind of had a lot of questions for them. But I don't know what's gonna happen here, but I really just hope whatever happens, the Activision employees don't get screwed over, and even if the Microsoft acquisition doesn't go through, hopefully there something happens at that company to force Bobby Kotick out, because there's no avenue forward, in my opinion, with Bobby Kotick still there. So I don't know. I don't know.
I still can't believe he's still there.
Yeah.
Is like he's still just being an absolute menace out and about in the real world, and it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I there's no point in me regurgitating everything you say, because like, I mean, we've been saying it on the podcast for what feels like months now or over a year. Is like, yeah, we got to get Bobby out. Like, I feel like Microsoft is going to get a lot more scrutiny, honestly, even in the next coming months into 2023. Like, it probably might only get worse. But I honestly can't see them ultimately not. I don't know. Is the deal going to fall apart? I'm not totally convinced.
Absolutely. Glenn, thank you for letting me know that. Apparently there was no sound on the intro video. That is my fault. I messed up a setting. We're using a different scene because it's only two of us, but it was just for the intro video, so I can fix that later in post.
At least it wasn't the mics.
Yeah, no, it was not the mics.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you. Anyways, Glenn. Moving on, Christian. Xbox Game Pass family plan details have come out here. A little bit of more background into what the account holders are going to have to do. So they did reveal that only the primary account owner can convert their subscription to the family plan. So, for instance, if you have friends that are joining you, they cannot convert their time. So if they already have Game Pass Ultimate or something, they're not going to be able to convert that time. So make sure if you're planning on doing a family plan, don't buy a bunch of subscription time like years in advance, because only the person who actually is the leader of the plan will be able to convert that time, which is interesting. An interesting like caveat. I'm not sure why they would need to do that. Maybe, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, why wouldn't you be able to convert that and add it into everyone's like total pool? Maybe it's a billing thing. I don't know.
Am I crazy, or is 22 euros per month for what? 5 people total? Sorry, among 5, yeah, so 5 total is like honestly too much of a bargain.
Yeah,
like that's too cheap.
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's in testing right now in the EU. There's 2 countries that are testing it at that pricing. So I guess the caveat is that it's in testing, that maybe they increase it, but that is, yeah, you're right. That is very low for 5 people.
Yeah. Are you getting the same perks as Ultimate?
Yes. Yep.
Included?
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't imagine them making like a is this a way to boost like subscribers? Maybe. But do you lose money off that? I don't know.
My guess is, so maybe that's part of the reasoning as to why people who join you cannot convert their subscription. So they're trying to get people that aren't already subscribed. So if your friends are already subscribed for multiple years, they're trying to get people that don't already have a subscription, is my maybe guess. I don't know.
And I do have a friend who was like interested in possibly getting this, who doesn't already have Game Pass, so
that would work out then.
Who knows?
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. I'm not gonna be joining anyone, but I could definitely host one, because I have like 3 years stacked.
I'll join you.
Okay.
Easy.
Moving on from there, Christian, what else is easy? Gears of War is getting a Netflix live action film, as well as an adult animated series in cooperation with the Coalition. Very interesting. This was announced on their 16-year anniversary of the original Gears of War. And obviously this film has been in development for been in talks for a long time, but it finally lands with Netflix, along with the animated series, which might pique my interest.
You gotta love Netflix's bias on animation here with their wording saying adult animation. The implication there being that normal animation is not for adults, which is your big Guillermo del Toro fan, you'll know is incorrect. Medium, baby, not a genre. It's not a genre. Are you excited?
Oh yeah, I'm very excited. I'm a huge Gears fan in terms of the story, so I'm very interested to see like how they adapt this. I kind of feel like they're saying adult animated series too because they want to like comfort fans and say like this isn't going to be like just like a toned down version of Gears of War. This is going to be chainsaws and blood and
Yeah,
gore.
but like Castlevania is very much adult, and they don't call that adult animation. It's just animation.
Right. That's fair. Very fair.
Yeah, I'm more interested in the animation portion of this because Netflix animation stuff projects are really good. Like Castlevania, Cyberpunk Edgerunners are just fucking fantastic. All their live action adaptations are very much hit or miss, and they're mostly misses. So, tempering my expectations for that one, personally.
Fair, very fair. We'll wait to see more there. Moving on, Halo Infinite's Forge has finally launched, Christian. Here we are. We got a few more details as well. The Pit remake from Halo 3 is targeting this year. It's being remade in Forge. They're planning for a Forge multiplayer matchmaking playlist. So basically curating community content. Yes, very good, very good. And they've done that in previous games as well to a lot of success. Forge is also being more advertised as more of a game engine than a map editor, which playing with it a little bit last night, I had a little bit of time to play with it. It is 100% a game engine. Like there is so many layers to it there. Like it can almost be daunting for new players, but like, yeah, it's very powerful. And also, we're getting Forge maps coming to multiplayer matchmaking over time for normal playlists. So I'm sure 343 will pick out the best of the best. You can co-op Forge with up to 8 players, which is insane. 8 people forging one map at one time. That's really cool.
Holy shit, at one time?
Yes. You can have 8 people. And then custom game browser will be coming March 7th, which I believe is the start of season 3. And that is huge as well because that will allow people to search for these custom games and maps that make Halo so freaking fantastic. Like custom game browser and Master Chief Collection, fantastic. There's so many cool game modes you can play with other people in there. So, a lot of good stuff coming to Halo.
You know if there will be a way to search for stuff like outside of in-game now? Like if you made a map, could you share that like on Twitter or something, and then you could like get like a code to, I don't know.
Yes. So
or save it to an account and start it. Sorry, go explain it.
No, you're fine. So right now, actually, you can share all of your content, and you can search all the content in their. They have a browser already to search for stuff. The custom game browser is like lobbies essentially that you can create that people can search, essentially like dedicated servers where people can search and say, oh, I want to play this and join this lobby. Whereas the search functionality that you're talking about, you can do that right now. So you can just type in, if you're looking for one of the popular old Halo modes is called Halo on Halo. If you're looking for that mode, you can type in Halo and it'll pull up all the maps that are called Halo, and you can sort it by, top downloads and all of that. So very cool.
Potentially big.
Are you gonna join, Christian?
We'll see. I've got Ragnarok and Call of Duty to keep me. That camo grind continues. I'm like 8 or 9 gold guns in. Gotta keep going.
Wow. The grind continues. The grind also continues on a Prince of Persia remake, Christian, as pre-orders are being refunded by Ubisoft. They are not committing to a new release window. However, Ubisoft Montreal is continuing development of it after they took over, I think last year. So it'll be interesting to see what this even comes to, because it was originally announced for Xbox One and PS4. I would imagine it's going to be transitioned to a current gen game, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. But yeah, hopefully it looks better.
It'll. I feel like it still might be like a cross generation game
You think so?
for a game of this caliber from a third party. Probably PS4 and PS5 on the Xbox suite.
So when
I
is
can't
it
imagine
out?
they would lose on sales. When is it out?
Yeah.
What year are we in? 2022. It's probably out spring of 24. Yeah.
Okay.
You see the scuttlebutt that like it was done and then it was like not in a shape that like this would not do well.
Yeah.
And so Montreal was like, yeah, let's just restart this bad boy, which is insane. All the money they've lost over the years developing this thing.
Yeah. They called it a remake and it didn't even look like a remaster to me. Like it didn't impress. Yeah. Ugh.
Is it called? Oh, you're right. It is called a remake, isn't it?
Yes. Yep.
You are right. Yeah. Yikes. Big yikes.
Indeed. Moving on from there, Christian, another franchise you need to play, Mass Effect, has gotten some concept art of a mass relay that showed up on N7 Day, and this is for the new Mass Effect, of course. And we got a little audio transmission from Liara to Sony, which is one of the fan favorite characters from the original trilogy. Very, very excited for this, and yeah, this mass relay looks delicious. Looks good. It's got orange paint on there. Maybe some Cerberus action coming back for anyone who's Mass Effect fans out there.
First of all, I played Mass Effect. All right.
you did
just only the first one.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, this is great. I should play two. Just never did. Never did. Who has the time? Who has the time?
Two is the best one, Christian.
Hey, I don't. Hey, look, it's still on my hard drive. I'm gonna get to it.
Okay,
Just have no idea when.
that's fair. Fair. Get through that
By
right.
by the end of the decade, I will.
By then, the next
I
trilogy
promise.
will be out.
Yeah. Andromeda 2.
Oh God, no. Moving on from there, Christian. GTA 5 has reached 170 million units sold. Red Dead Redemption as a franchise has sold 70 million. What the hell? I feel like we give these stories like every 6 months to a year. Like, here's another huge milestone for GTA 5. How the hell is this thing still selling?
One of the best selling games of all time. We get it. Let it go already. Who's still buying these games? I have a friend. I'm not gonna say his name, but he bought like the monthly subscription that like gives you money every month. And it's like, dude, why? You like touch the game once a month just to like go in and get your little like money, whatever, and then you move on. Like you're not even playing the game. It's so funny.
I had an old coworker, which didn't really get along with this old coworker. But anyways, he literally would buy car parts in GTA. I'm like,
hell yeah.
Well, now wait a minute. He would buy car parts in GTA, but then he couldn't afford real world things, like probably things that should be like priorities in his life, like his son,
Absolutely.
for instance. Like, oh, yeah. I don't like that stuff, but
anyway, I'm ready for GTA 6. However, GTA 5 like custom games are that's my forge, Dan.
Yeah,
I love the custom games in Grand Theft Auto. They're fantastic. I used to like love going to the Rockstar website and being like, I'm gonna add 30 of these to my jobs and then go online and play them with my friends. It's so cool.
it's really cool. Something else you've been playing with friends is VR, Christian, but I don't think we're gonna be playing this VR anytime soon, or at least I'm not.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a new VR headset that can kill you if you die in a game, Christian. So this is from the Oculus founder, Palmer Luckey, that apparently decided it was a good idea to build a prototype that that when you wear the headset and you die in the game, it kills you in real life with somehow killing you on the headset. I don't even know how the killing mechanism works, but it's in honor of Sword Art Online.
Yeah, which is hold on, it's so funny. I know that the graphics is inspired by an anime, but the IGN verbiage is in honor of Sword Art Online, which I've seen SAO. I really liked SAO, but like in honor of, like, what do you like? That's like the message you want to like don't want to take away from. But there are these 3 tubes on the front of the headset.
Yeah.
They're like pretty much like these little mini explosions. And then once the screen detects a certain shade of red that is what I talked about in the private Twitter, is a certain shade of red synonymous with game over screens, it'll shoot those explosions into your brain, killing you. Which is strap that thing on me, dude. I'm ready to get out of here.
What the frick? Okay, that's a little. When IGN first posted this, I didn't add this to our stories because I was like, "Oh, IGN's just messing around." And then they posted it like 2 or 3 more times throughout the week, and I'm like, "What the hell is going on?" Ugh.
The craziest thing about this is that like I didn't learn about this until today, until you shared it. There's a lock mechanism, so you can't take it off.
What the? Why?
Yeah. That's crazy. Imagine someone gets their hand on their prototype and is like, "Hey, let's play a game." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some Saw stuff.
Yeah, Jigsaw. I would have
Jigsaw,
played a game. That's...
What VR? Okay, hold on. We got to stop here. What VR game do you think you could survive? Like a play session with this thing?
Like
probably not Phasmo.
Just a play session?
Yeah.
So I guess do you have to win?
Mini golf.
Do you have
we
to
don't die?
Do you have to win, or just not die?
I mean, not die.
Well,
not
I could play Phasmophobia and just not go in the house, right? Technically,
I guess.
I mean,
you would have to like play the objective though. I would like, I would imagine.
You know what? Rec room, paintball.
You die all the time in that.
Oh shit, you're right.
You get shot once, you're dead.
Yeah, you're right. I was thinking win, but yeah, you're right. You get shot all the time.
Yeah.
Oh.
Rock climb.
No. That ain't it.
You don't die in that.
I mean, well,
you just fall.
Not. Yeah, I guess. Probably should work towards, doing something better, Palmer.
Resident Evil 7.
Oh,
from start to finish. Start to finish.
Nope.
On easy mode.
Not happening, Christian. Not happening.
Anyway. Anywho,
moving on to a bit of a less light story here. Mick Gordon is going up against id Software. This kind of came out right after Doom Eternal came out, and it was a big thing back then. Mick Gordon had announced back then that he was no longer going to be involved in Doom's soundtracks moving forward. There wasn't a whole lot of information at the time, but now Mick Gordon has posted a lengthy response essentially to disinformation that he said that Marty Stratton, id Software's studio director, lied about. So I'll give you the quick notes version here on his Twitter replies. He says, in Marty's Doom Eternal OST open letter posted on Reddit on May 5th, 2020, he made allegations against me that directly contradicted the actual events, contractual terms, public announcements, and contents of emails and calls. Marty's post severely impacted my professional and personal reputation. In releasing this statement, I'm exercising my right to defend myself. It is a defense, not an unprovoked attack, issued with extreme reluctance only after all other attempts to resolve the matter have failed. This statement is not an excuse for a hate campaign. Acts of hate dished out online won't result in any positive change. It only makes things worse. Essentially, from what I gather, I'll read a little bit of it here. So Marty lied about the circumstances surrounding the Doom Eternal soundtrack and used disinformation and innuendo to blame me entirely for its failure, which I didn't think that Doom Eternal soundtrack was a failure. I thought it was fantastic. But essentially, I read it a little bit ago, and he's saying that he wrote a bunch of music and scores for the game, but he essentially had to give all of that to like the audio director, that he got to implement it however he wanted, and Mick Gordon wasn't able to implement it how he wanted to implement it. And also, he had a bunch of music that he sent them that they said they didn't use, and that they cut half of it, and that's not true. And they actually apparently used all of what they sent him, or he sent them. So essentially he got a bunch of music sent to them that was unpaid, and he was looking to be paid for the work that they essentially didn't pay him for, because they said they didn't use that content, but they did use it. So yeah, not good. Not good at all for id's upper management. And yeah, Mick Gordon's work it was fantastic in Doom 2018 and Doom Eternal. So or 2016, Doom 2016, and
right.
Doom Eternal. But
that's extremely shitty, and like that's what could be perceived as libel, maybe.
Yeah.
Could Mick Gordon take legal action? Probably, if he wanted to. That sucks. And what I'll do instead of focusing on like the negative part of the story is I was scrolling through Mick Gordon's Twitter profile, and I learned he's actually on the team for a cool game called Routine, which we saw at one of Keely's shows, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
I think you're right.
It was one of the ones that was another survival horror set in space. This one with like a very cool like retro VHS aesthetic with robots. And I'm excited for Routine is my takeaway. I didn't know who Mick Gordon was until this story. So that's my takeaway. Mick Gordon, I'm sorry about your situation. I'm not going to ride or die with you, because the way you're recording audio for Routine is really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everything he's done, top notch. You know what's not top notch, Christian? FIFA's first game after the EA partnership ends are going to be blockchain and Web 3.0 based.
Love it. Can't wait.
How about those NFTs we're about to get, Christian, and FIFA?
I mean, come on. FIFA's already basically gambling with their Ultimate Team.
Fair. That's fair.
So. Oh, more money to launder.
Yeah, that's... Ugh.
FIFA is terrible.
Terrible.
Anyway, I will be watching the World Cup in 10 days.
You'll have to switch to EA Football Club or whatever they're going to call it. I forget what they said it's going to be called.
Oh, man. Are we going to get down on some EA soccer, Dan?
Yeah. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Yeah.
That's right.
Bring that guy back.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Hey, that's pretty close. Holy shit.
Yeah. Childhood. Hearing that all the time. Anywho. Our last quick bite, Christian. Lionsgate is interested in a John Wick video game. You made sure that I didn't miss this, and I almost did. Thank you, Christian. And apparently it's going to be a much larger budget than the independent John Wick Hex, if that ends up happening. The studio is reportedly also considering a big AAA game based on the franchise. And during the earnings call today, the Lionsgate CEO mentioned that the company has been discussing proposals for the game, though nothing is set in stone yet. I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but we believe there is a big AAA game to be made out of John Wick. We have been fielding proposals. We certainly are interested in moving that forward, but I don't want to say anything more about that at this time. Who do you want to see make this? John
Remedy.
Wick. Oh, that's actually sick.
Yeah. Make it a Max Payne like, but in the John Wick universe.
That would be sick.
I'd be all for it, baby. I'd be all for it.
Heck yeah.
Any other thoughts? Who would you want?
Honestly, that's I think you just nailed it spot on. Like, I literally didn't. I was trying to rack my brain around an action developer that I would want to see make this, but like Remedy makes a lot of sense. Like,
yeah,
that.
What about a Respawn? Respawn could be cool as well.
Yeah, they're making an action adventure Star Wars game, right? Or no, or maybe FPS. I don't know.
I mean, we know they can do FPS, and they did an action adventure game, which
Jedi Fallen. Yeah,
it has its flaws. It has some jank, but like still widely regarded as a pretty great game. So
yes,
yeah,
absolutely. Moving on from there, Christian, into the street meat we go. Codemasters Dirt series, along with Project Cars, has reportedly been canceled internally. Dirt Rally will survive under a new name, EA Sports Rally. We just had this joke about EA Sports FIFA, and now here we go with EA Sports Rally.
EA Sports.
It's in the
Racing
rally.
cars. Yeah, nice.
This is interesting. I don't think this is too terribly surprising though, because they had already kind of told Codemasters to help Criterion make Need for Speed now. So I know they've been helping them with the new Need for Speed. So I don't think it's terribly surprising. I don't know if this is good or bad. I've never played the Dirt series or Project Cars. I know Project Cars was kind of well regarded when it first came out, because it was kind of like this new thing that they were trying, and it was kind of like an exciting new project. But yeah, I don't know. Guess we'll see.
I can't comment on this. I haven't played any of these either, so
Yeah.
I know Gage brought this up.
Yes.
Sorry, Gage. I failed you. Okay. Here's my take.
Yep.
Someone developed Burnout Paradise 2. Thank you.
Yes. I mean, that could be the next game after Need for Speed. Criterion and Codemasters team up for Burnout Paradise 2.
And I'd play the shit out of it.
For some reason, EA just doesn't want to bring back Burnout in a meaningful way. I don't know why.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
They brought back Mirror's Edge in a half-assed way.
Yeah, they did. Indeed. Insane. Our next Street Meat item, Christian, is a Bethesda EULA has been found on Steam for a Redfall beta. Of course, I'm sure Gage is very excited about this story as well. Idle Sloth on Twitter posted this. Someone found a Bethesda EULA on Steam, and people are speculating it could be a Redfall beta that is happening. Arcane has never done a beta before, but they've also never made a co-op game before. So yeah, it makes total sense that they want to test their their technology to make sure it works perfect and makes for a better launch. So yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Would love to jump in on this.
This is cool, but I also worry for like optics, because a lot of people like in the games, or maybe just outside the game's purview, are like maybe a little bit ignorant on how like game development works, and we see that because alpha images of Redfall leaked a long time ago, and people are like, this game looks terrible, and it's like, well, it's a super early build of a game that isn't done yet. That's why you're seeing it like this. You know what I mean? So a game that's in beta, like it's their first co-op game. It might have some issues, and that's the point of it. But I worry people would like be quick to dismiss it if it is kind of, quote unquote, broken as a beta. They might just like not check out the final release, which I think would be a shame.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, and you nailed the head on it right there. I don't know. That's not the right word.
Yeah, you nailed me.
I nailed. Sure. Oh, let's close out the Street Meat, Christian. A Horizon MMO may be in the works from the makers of Guild Wars. They're NCSoft is the developer. NCSoft is said to be currently recruiting for the project, which is referred to as Project H in the company's job advertisements. However, NCSoft has refused to confirm the existence of the game, stating it is difficult to confirm information about unpublished projects that are currently under development. So it's not a denial, obviously, but interesting, I guess. I don't know how that will look in terms of the Horizon universe, and like, what does this mean for a possible third Horizon game from Guerrilla? Because like, is this going to be too much if we have a MMO and the next Horizon game coming from Guerrilla? Like maybe just let Guerrilla handle this. I don't know.
The only project game I care about from NCSoft is Project M. Anything else? Don't give it to me. I'm even more less interested in a Horizon MMO. I mean, first of all, MMO games just aren't for me, and that's okay. But like, for me, this speaks more on like what Sony wants to do in terms of their brands, which is branch them out and like create like franchises that people can engage with on multiple fronts, and not just they have the TV show coming. They've got movie adaptations. They have multiple Horizon games now.
A remake.
Okay, I hope not. This just seems like too much Horizon. It's like, well, the Guerrilla games, like, if I'm being honest, like these aren't super memorable experiences that once I'm done playing them to begin with. Like, Will anything else hit as high as the Horizon proper games from Guerrilla? I don't know. So it's a steep climb that they have to prove themselves to make these kinds of games.
Indeed. What
But we will see it in the Horizon one day.
Nice.
Sorry.
What is Project M that they're making?
Come on, bro. Project M from NC Soft?
Yeah, what is that? I don't know what that is.
Somebody didn't watch my Asian games video. That's fine. So it's not the NC Soft proper team. It's their experimental team, and they're doing a obviously a team from South Korea. They're doing a narrative game where it's like your choices matter, like like the David Cage kind of games, right?
That sounds cool.
But it's detective stories, also a little bit sci-fi, and it looked fantastic. And dude, their capture for their environments and their people are like top notch. I'll send you the trailer again. It's incredible.
Okay. Check it out. Yeah, that sounds really cool. I still gotta freaking go back and play Detroit sometime. I started that and never finished it.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Oh, okay.
Half of the game is really good.
Yeah. That's fair. Moving into our PXN news of the week, Christian, our first item is not a very good one. That's not the right wording. Not a very happy story here, as there has been representation issues that have popped up with Final Fantasy 16. This comes from Adrian Foster on Twitter, and I don't know what C/O means.
So it's in reference to Kat Bailey's article from IGN.
Okay, gotcha. In regards to diversity in the game, can we expect to see black characters in Final Fantasy 16 or people of color, non-white characters in general? So that was, I guess, the question from IGN that they were asking. Okay, Naoki Yoshida. And he responds with he or she. I apologize. I'm not familiar.
Yoshida-san.
Okay. He says, this is a difficult question, but not one that was unexpected, seeing as diversity in entertainment media has become a much discussed topic as of late. The answer I have, however, may end up being disappointing to some, depending on individual expectations. Our design concept from the earliest stages of development has always heavily featured medieval Europe, incorporating historical, cultural, political, and anthropological, oh gosh, that was terrible, standards that were prevalent at the time. When deciding on a setting that was best suited to the story we wanted to tell, the story of a land beset by the Blight, we felt that rather than create something on a global scale, it was necessary to limit the scope to a single landmass, geographically, Jesus, I can't speak today, and culturally isolated from the rest of the world in an age without airplanes, television, or telephones. Due to the underlying geographical, technological, and geopolitical constraints of the setting, Valahiste, I don't know, that's probably butchered.
Valahiste.
There you go. Was never going to realistically be as diverse as, say, a modern-day Earth, or even Final Fantasy 14 that has an entire planet and moon worth of nations, races, and cultures at its disposal. The isolated nature of this realm, however, does end up playing a large part in the story and is one of the reasons Valhista's fate is tied to the rest of the world. Ultimately, we felt that while incorporating ethnic diversity in Valhista was important, an over-incorporation into the single corner of a much larger world could end up causing a violation of those narrative boundaries we originally set for ourselves. The story we are telling is fantasy, yes, but it is rooted in reality. Conversely, the Final Fantasy series of games have always inherently dealt with conflict and struggle, especially between the empowered and those used and or exploited by those privileged few. A prominent trend in human history. In a game that, by design, allows players to experience that conflict and struggle firsthand through dynamic, realistic battles. It can be challenging to assign distinctive ethnicities to either antagonist or protagonist without triggering audience preconceptions, inviting unwarranted speculation, and and ultimately stoking the flames of controversy. The best part of pulling inspiration directly from history, however, is that it allows us to revisit and re-examine our own pasts, while also allowing us to create something new. In the end, we simply want the focus to be less on the outward appearance of our characters and more on who they are as people who are complex and diverse in their natures, backgrounds, beliefs, personalities, and motivations. People whose stories we can resonate with. There is diversity in Valhalla, diversity that, while not all-encompassing, is synergistic with the setting we've created and is true to the inspirations from which we are drawing. That was a lot,
Yoshida-san,
but
Yoshida-san, you make cool games, but I'm sorry that black people existing is not synergistic with your game.
yeah, and like I guess I don't understand, because he's saying that Final Fantasy 14 is a massive world, so that's his reason for that having more diversity.
Well,
that doesn't make any sense to me though, because like if the world of Final Fantasy 14 is that diverse, why wouldn't this section, and obviously I don't know Final Fantasy or anything like that, but why wouldn't this section of, you know, Final Fantasy 16, why wouldn't that be just as diverse? Like there's nothing that says that it can't be just as diverse, and why is that a story element to make it less diverse? Like
using Yoshida's own answer is that he's pulling directly from like literally anthropological fucking statistics on medieval Europe, or like, yes, there was less POC. Okay, I have to go back. There were more white people than there were people of color in medieval Europe. Like, that is fact. It also doesn't mean like there were none.
right.
And you are doing a fantasy game. Like at the end of this very long answer, he has like he's wanting to like, it is rooted in reality, but we want to put our own spin in this game. Like, and it's a very game that's inspired by history. It's like, well, you also like have like 2 minutes of your trailer featuring like giant demonic like summons that are like fighting each other. Like let's scale it back a little bit, Yoshida-san. And like his answer, this is a difficult question. Like it's really not. Are there people of color in your game? Yes or no? And why not did you want them in there? And like, we know Japan has like a race problem. Like those that know. Like a lot of people, like a lot of old heads from Japan are like pretty racist. There's a lot of the world. That's just how it is. But like this is like the most open I think people have like really been about. Like it really, I don't know, this public. I don't know. Like, just to go on a little bit more of a rant for a couple of seconds, like I understand like where he's trying to base his answer from. It's like, we don't want diversity for diversity's sake. That's like the thing that people talk about all the time, like week day in day out on Twitter. But it's like, I don't know, these people exist.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and not only that, like it's not always like diversity isn't always derived from like diversity for diversity's sake. Sure, there are, you know, examples of that, but like I'm sure there's people on this team that are from other backgrounds and other, you know, there's African Americans, there's Asian Americans, I'm sure, or I'm sorry, not Americans, because obviously it's a Japanese company, but you get what I'm saying. But I'm sure that's a very diverse team. So like if you were to poll that team and say like, what do you want to see in this game? I feel like they would have very different answers than what he's saying here, in my opinion. That's just what I'm thinking. Because like the example that I think of is Respawn, for instance. They had a lot of people for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order that wanted the main protagonist to be African American, and they were denied at that request.
Yeah.
And so like I kind of point to that and say, like, what is your team saying? I don't know.
That same team was like, I think they also wanted it to be at one point like a female protagonist instead of Cal.
Yes.
Cal Kestis, and then they were like, no, we already have a female protagonist, referencing Rey from the movie fronts. Like, is that the quota? One? Like that's just the minimum? Is that enough? My answer is no. In fact, I'll answer this with like some more happy on a positive note is that Black Panther comes out tomorrow, and the main antagonist Namor is a Mexican descent. I think it was Aztec, and I'm very excited. I can't wait to see representation on that scale with such care on the big screen. It's gonna be awesome.
Absolutely, that's gonna be. I hope that movie's good. I really wanna love it.
Tomorrow,
very good.
I don't know when you're going.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to see it until next weekend, I think. So
that's a long time.
I know. I'm hoping
for
that
Twitter time.
I know. IGN the next day is going to spoil it. Well, who are we kidding?
Yeah. They. I think they've scaled it back. They usually wait until after opening weekend to spoil something.
Yeah.
Because they got a lot of flack for it. You would they would tweet sometimes like as shows were going live at midnight for Disney stuff. Kind of annoying.
Absolutely. Kind of also annoying, like when AMC announces the Negan TV series, which completely ruins the fact that Negan's not going to die in the final season of The Walking Dead. AMC, why would you tell us?
Could be a prequel.
It's not, because they've been very clear on what it is, which is this.
That's kind of weird then.
Yeah, and yeah, that's a whole other conversation, but. Yeah, they were trying to act like Negan was going to die in this last episode. And I'm like, really? We know he's not going to die. Anywho, sorry. That's enough TV.
Remember the Glenn fake out?
Yes, I do. Yep. Ugh. Come on, AMC. Moving on, Christian. Something you're going to be loving here. Well, I guess not this first part. Not this first part.
Oh, right.
But the rest of it, yes. Modern Warfare 2 composer Sarah Schachner, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that, is no longer composing music for the game because of a challenging working dynamic with the audio director. She was responding to fans after being asked where the soundtrack to Modern Warfare 2 was. As reported by Variety, she did not specifically name the audio director, but it is said to be Stephen Miller. She did, however, address the many fans who have been asking about the release of the soundtrack. Unfortunately, it may not be the answer you're hoping for. She said, I am sad to say I can no longer continue to compose music for Modern Warfare 2/Warzone. Over the past couple of months, the working dynamic with the audio director has become increasingly challenging, and I don't see any path forward. As of now, I am unsure of the status and release plans for the soundtrack, and it's been taken out of my hands. While I don't have any control over how the music is presented in-game, what will be released on the soundtrack is not my artistic intent in regards to mixing and mastering. Mike Dean was a part of the creative vision for the album, as well as mixer Frank Wolf. We have soundtrack masters in hand from Mike, which unfortunately you will never get to hear. She was then praising the work of the audio team as a whole, alongside wishing that we still enjoy the soundtrack as she worked so hard on it. So yeah, that kind of sucks, and it kind of seems like another issue of a woman being put in a position where she's not given the latitude that a male in the same position would be given. So yeah, that's very unfortunate and very sad.
I mean, my read on it is the same way. Is that a lot of these companies are very much like male centric, and the work dynamic seems to be very much. I don't want to call it frat boy because I mean, certainly Activision is, but I can't speak to what like Infinity Ward or I guess IDub and Sledgehammer, FDR. They work together. I can't speak to their teams because I don't know, but like that could be the case where one is getting more favoritism because he's been at it longer or he's a man or whatever, and her name Sarah is just like opting to bow instead. I think that sucks. Yeah. I will say, however, the audio in this game is like really great. So it's cool to see Schachner talk about like how great it was like working with the audio team.
Very cool. And yeah, it probably stems from the top, you think, Christian? Bobby Cup there.
Probably, yeah. That's a shame, but like it's a shame to like spend so much time working on something that you really care deeply about.
Yeah.
And then to like even like have the masters done, and then just they never go anywhere.
And they take.
I mean, it's very reminiscent. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and they take it out of your hands. That's kind of that
Yeah, it
sucks.
sucks. I mean, it reminds me of like Batgirl as well. Like to have that movie be
Mm.
so close to finished, and then like their files get. I don't know if they were actually deleted or not, but I think they got moved to like a private server. It's just that's shitty. No one wants to see stuff like that happen.
Absolutely. But some lighter news, I guess, from Modern Warfare 2, Christian. We have some Season 1 roadmap details. We're getting quite a bit of content that's on the way. Warzone 2.0 is on the way with a new map, new mode, which is, of course, DMZ. We're getting a new gulag as well, some new vehicles, heavy chopper, and a Hummer. Let's see.
Yeah, it's an electric Hummer,
Yeah.
but it uses the gas tank mechanics from Warzone 2.
Wait,
which is
it
hilarious.
does?
Yeah,
What?
product placement, baby.
That's bizarre. We're also getting new gameplay features, aquatic combat, which of course I'm sure that's from Modern Warfare 2's new mechanic. Circles collapsing, which I didn't know that was a new game feature.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but there are, instead of one big circle that's always closing down, there are like micro circles. There's three of them
Oh.
happening, and so those will start to close, and then those three circles will converge into one circle, making it so like you're having these pockets of gameplay. Like always, it's so that there are more firefight engagements happening more often, and then those converging together rather than people like going through the outside of the big circle.
That's actually really fascinating. I think that's cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're also getting proximity chat, which is very cool. Cool little Halo 2 feature back in the day. Heck yeah.
Keep going.
There's new buy stations being introduced. We're getting a third person playlist for Warzone.
Yeah, I'm sure Gage will love that, dude.
I'll love that too, probably more. I really enjoyed the new third person.
Oh, hold on. From what he told me, he said you hated it.
No, I don't hate third person was my favorite part. I'm not sure why he said that. In the beta, I hated it because the zoom, like when you zoomed into your first person view, but I actually enjoyed the third person aspect, like being able to aim from third person. Yeah.
Sure.
We're also getting interrogation. Is that a mode, I guess? Or-
No, interrogate. No. So if you down someone, you can go up to them and interrogate them, which will reveal like positions and stuff.
Makes sense. Okay. So if your teammates in your squad get downed and then someone interrogates them, they can find where your teammates are and kill them. Gotcha.
Yep.
We're also getting new maps, which we're getting Shoot House, which is, of course, a classic returning, as well as Shipment, which is an extreme classic returning. We're getting.
There's also, there's a bunch more maps too that like they're not in this graphic because this is like there are more maps that are coming throughout. I think either throughout the season or in other seasons, but like there's way more Modern Warfare 2 maps that are coming. Like Afghan is getting a remake as well that I think is dropping either halfway through season 1 or in season 2. And there's a couple of new. I think there's like 2 new maps that we got like a sneak peek at that are dropping at some point.
Awesome. I like that they're doing some remakes and some new because I'm sure the remakes are easier to push out the door to get more content, but also we're getting new ones sprinkled in. I like that. Yeah. We're also getting a new mode called Raid in season. We're getting a co-op mission called High Ground being added, so one of the Spec Ops missions. CDL Mosh Pit, which is, I'm assuming, a new mode. Interesting. I don't know what that is, but
you don't know what Mosh Pit is?
No idea.
Mosh Pit is just a playlist that has different game modes in it, like already filtered. So usually it would be like Domination, Headquarters, and like Kill Confirmed, and whatever else they add. CDL is interesting. Like, what would make this of Call of Duty League Mosh Pit? I don't understand. Or certain stuff banned. Like Call of Duty League has already banned one of the guns because it's too OP. Like, can you not use that gun in CDL Mosh Pit? I don't know.
Probably, yeah. It's probably all the settings for Call of Duty League as well, because Halo does something similar with their ranked as well.
This isn't mentioned here, but maybe you mentioned it, I missed it. But Hardcore also comes out, which is they renamed as Tier 1. which I can't wait.
Which is
Love
like,
hardcore.
how quick is that? Like, maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like the time to kill is already super quick. Like, frick, you breathe on
Yeah,
somebody.
some pistols are like 2 shots, man. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, there are a lot of guns that are the TTK like cannot compete with like the current meta, like some stronger weapons. So if you save those and you're planning to use them soon, you just use them in hardcore instead, and you'll be fine. Looking at you M16 and cast off 545.
There you go. We're getting an all new battle pass as well. Modern Warfare FC event, which I'm sure you're excited about, Christian. Getting some soccer players in there. Messi.
Yeah, can I? Yeah, I'll probably play as Messi, even though he looks a little weird. Like Pogba looks really good, and Neymar looks great, but Messi looks a little weird. Can I just say they also went in and said that they redid their battle pass, so it's not a standard battle pass where you like. Typically, it'd be like you start at 1 and you have to go all the way to 100 to get everything.
Yeah.
Now what they have are 20 sectors, each with like 5 items. See this?
No, I did not, but go on.
So like instead of unlocking things one by one when you like reach the next thing in the battle pass, we get like a token, which you then can use to pick what you want from a sector or like whatever. So you're getting to pick and choose what you unlock in the order that you want instead of the order that a traditional battle pass would lay out for you.
That's awesome. I really like that, and it's hilarious because that's what I wanted for Halo Infinite's battle pass or season pass, whatever you want to call it, and they instead did something different because Master Chief Collection has something very similar where you unlock quadrants and you get tokens to unlock whatever you want from that quadrant. So like that's why I smiled, because I think that's very cool.
Oh yeah, same thing.
Very reminiscent.
Nice.
Yep. So yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, new weapons, operators, and more also on the way.
Yeah, by the way, the new weapons, M13, the Chimera also coming. I forget the name of the sniper that they call here. Obviously, they didn't get the rights to the names of the guns in this game, but that's the intervention. The intervention's coming back. Excited.
That gun did a lot of damage back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on from there to the next item of Call of Duty, possible 2023 paid expansion plans have come out as well. Apparently, Sledgehammer Games is developing the paid content expansion for Modern Warfare 2, releasing in 2023, according to Jason Schreier. I almost said from Kotaku, of course, not from Kotaku anymore, but
Bloomberg.
Yes. The expansion will have a lot of content and most likely will be $70. Treyarch's Call of Duty is still set for 2024. So yeah, interesting that they're going down this route instead of a full game. We're getting a full game price, but just an expansion.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be single player content developed by Sledgehammer Games. The most that's which I'm really curious about, considering like I'm not saying what it is, but there is a post-credit scene in Modern Warfare 2 that was like, holy shit, is this going to be in Modern Warfare 3? Well, now it could be in Modern Warfare 2.5 or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like the expansion, right. Which is cool. Like, you know, it's more games as a service kind of, but it's a big question mark because we've never seen it really happen in Call of Duty before. Like, what does a lot of content mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
New maps, obviously.
And my question is, what does this mean for Sledgehammer? Does this mean Sledgehammer's no longer going to make their own game of Call of Duty anymore?
No, I mean, if they're shifting to like a new COD every 2 years, Sledgehammer might be back to being a support studio.
Interesting.
Switching between Infinity Ward and Treyarch.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep, indeed. Will be interesting. And the last thing, Christian, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 has crossed $1 billion in sales, faster than any game in the franchise. It crossed $1 billion in worldwide sales through its first 10 days. Absolutely bananas.
Huge. Yeah. Huge.
But moving into our last news item of the week, Christian, Hideo Kojima has dismissed several rumors directly, including the Death Stranding sequel on Stadia, Abandoned, which from Blue Box, which I think we already knew that one. And he also has called them a nuisance. And I just love his comments, and I think you made a comment about it as well. Like, his comments are just like really funny calling
He's
them
so Kojima is fucking hilarious, man. I've been listening to more of Brain Structure and like, I mean, he's got an episode that's about the Jordan Peele movie Nope, but then he just goes on this like 15-minute rant about like what UFOs used to mean to him growing up and like just talking about movies. And it's like, Kojima, you're fucking hilarious. This is even more funny. Oh, he's also like not necessarily calling Blue Box a nuisance. It's more so the implications, or sorry, the constant kind of questions and kind of tweets and comments he's getting are like, oh, like in connection with Abandon and not the team itself. I can imagine how annoying it might be. Like, is this your game, Kojima? It's like, no, I have nothing to do with this.
Yeah. Interesting. Kojima is one of those interesting characters, for sure. But, you know what else is interesting? We got some Overdose screenshots, Christian, that have leaked in private Discord servers of a character played by Death Stranding actress Margaret Qualley. I don't know if you saw these screenshots yet or not, but quickly thereafter we saw that. We also got apparently footage of what appears to be Overdose gameplay. Obviously, this is like very early footage if this is in fact real, but it looks spooky.
What did you? Oh, there is a link for screenshots. I saw like a part of the clip for the game, and honestly, I mean, it's a phone recording of another phone screen of like this naked dude watching it behind the camera. It's hilarious. But I don't really like oh, these screenshots are terrible.
Yeah.
I don't particularly like watching leaks like this because like it's seemingly kind of obvious that like this is gonna get shown at Jeff Keighley's Game Awards probably. And I'll let like that be the first like tone setter for what this game is gonna be. Whereas leaks just don't do it justice, in my opinion.
I mean, you could at least watch the video and enjoy the naked guy watching. No,
I have a screenshot of that dude's stomach. It's,
God.
Yeah. I mean, whatever this ends up being though. I mean, it is Overdose. Like I saw like the picture of like the Overdose screen, or I guess the title of it. I'm excited. I can't wait. Yeah, very cool. Also, Margaret Qualley, great actress.
Was she good in Death Stranding, I'm assuming?
She's great in Death Stranding. She's great in all the TV shows and movies she does.
Heck yeah. All right, Christian. We are moving into the fantasy draft check-in. We have a couple of big banger releases here. God of War Ragnarok to lead them here. And the reviews have come in. And this game is a 94 on OpenCritic, giving me lots of points, Christian. I believe that's 28 points coming my way for God of War.
Yeah, because double. Yeah, 28. Yeah. Not as much as Elden Ring, but...
You know what? I'll take it.
That's an insane amount of points. I can't believe it actually came out this year. Can't believe I'm playing it.
Yeah, that's
true. I don't believe it.
Spoiler alert.
For a later site. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Just to add on the back of that, and I know we'll talk about it a little bit in the topic of the show as well, but I just wanted to highlight the accessibility features in Ragnarok have been fantastic. A lot of people have talked about it online, including Steve Saylor, who's a pretty well-known blind gamer that he advocates for accessibility in games. So it's very cool to see all the features that they have, and it seems to like take what Naughty Dog did with The Last of Us and like do even more than that. Like, and that was already a major feat what Naughty Dog did with accessibility. So yeah, very, very cool stuff. One of the things that I thought was cool is the boss fights, which he talked about. There's an accessibility feature where you can have your boss fights, and if you die in the boss fight, it'll allow you to go back to a certain point of the boss fight. So like there's different tiers to the boss fight, and you don't have to go through the entire boss fight all over again. You can just go back to whatever tier you died on, which I think is very cool, and actually is a feature that I would have loved to have seen in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order that I argued with Sean on this podcast about way back in the day. And Sean was adamant with me, no, that breaks the game. And it's like, no, it doesn't. Like that's what made me not enjoy that game.
Just get good, Dan.
Yeah.
Literally.
Or I did enjoy the game. I
Kidding.
don't mean that. I mean like the last two boss fights, Christian. Well, mainly the second to last boss fight. Awful.
Some gamers are just better than others. I don't know what to tell you, Dan. No, I'm kidding. This is really good. This is awesome. And I'm like, by the way, again, I've been playing this game. It's a little tough. It's a little tough sometimes. I'm not gonna lie to you. So like, I mean, doing the Valkyries in 2018 was a real feat. Like that was freaking hard. So having accessibility features for people who like obviously don't game all the time or can't game the same is huge. And I remember like this week someone was tweeting from Santa Monica in an article somewhere. They were talking about like, well, it wasn't enough to like match Naughty Dog. Like we wanted it to like go above and beyond and like really be like we want to be leaders and have more people be able to enjoy our game. So like it's very cool to see like a wide array of accessibility features.
Absolutely.
So that more people can play. Also, one thing that I want to highlight too is like before the game even starts, like when you push X to start whatever, before you even see any kind of branding or menu screen or whatever, it goes straight to an accessibility screen. So you can set that up first, and then once you finish that, then the game starts. Very cool.
Very cool. What difficulty are you on, Christian?
Why don't I save that for topic of the show?
Okay, that's fair. Moving into our other check-in here, Sonic Frontiers reviews have also been coming in, Christian. It is hitting at 73 right now on OpenCritic, which means Ro is netting 3 points from Sonic Frontiers, and I am netting -3 for counterpicking Sonic Frontiers. So not terrible for -3, but you know, I was hoping for some points there, but you know, can't win them all.
I think Ro will take whatever points he'll get for this one.
Yeah. It seems like a lot of people are like having issues with the technical side of the game, but in terms of gameplay, I'm sure we will get into it in the topic of the show. But a lot of people have enjoyed this game actually for what it's worth.
So. Yeah, and like the more I see of it, the more I'm equally I want to check this out, as well as I don't know if I'll ever want to play this, but we'll get more into that in a little bit.
Absolutely. So we're sitting now, Christian, since we're getting close to the end of the year here, you are sitting with 119 points, but you still have 4 games left to release. 3 games, actually, because I forgot Bone Lab didn't get enough reviews. Oh, no.
Insane. Like, what the hell? Like, and I'll see advertisements for the game, too. Or if you go on the Steam page, they're like, it's there. Yeah. And, like, you'll see, like, the awards, you know, little image where people are, like, rating the game. It's like, come on. Give me some of those points.
Yeah, that does suck. That's unfortunate. Ro is sitting at 133 points, and he still has 2 games left. So there's still time for everyone to come back. I am sitting in first right now with 161 points, with still 3 games to release. Of course, Sports and Motorsport's not going to help me, so that's already a 0 in there. But yeah, 3 more games. And Gage is still sitting with literally almost his entire list not releasing this year. Come on, Gage. Replace those games. You don't have much time left. I'm not even sure how many games are left.
If you go to the top, you can look at the projected points.
Oh.
And Fantasy Critics will predict that you're ending at 187. Ro at 136. Me at 148. And Gage at 51.
And that's
long way to go still.
That's only because Gage hasn't replaced any of his games. He needs to do some replacements. There's still time.
Man, Bone Lab does have an OpenCritic page. I'm on it.
Yeah.
There are only 3 reviews.
Oh, no.
Hate to see it.
That does suck. Ugh. All right. Moving out of that, Christian, we're going to move into what you got for me. We played some VR, lots of VR action. We played a new walkabout level in mini golf, and Every single time they release a new level in mini golf, I'm just like, yes, I want more. I want more. So yeah, keep releasing new mini golf levels, please.
Yeah,
Keep
do you remember
putting-
what that level was?
I forget. It was based on a
Come
movie,
on.
right?
A movie and a book.
Oh, well, I don't know what it is. Just like the Labyrinth one, I didn't know what that was either.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. You can go God mode in the game now. It's flying around, which is a lot of fun. I thought I broke the game. Turns out it's just a feature.
Yeah, you were outside you were in the water. Like, oh.
That was awesome, dude. Being in the water, like looking through the submarine.
Yeah.
By the way, that game is really cool. Like the way it loads you into the level. Remember, like, thankfully you restarted it for me because I was picking up my food.
Yep.
And you're like in some kind of pod going towards the submarine, and then the door opens. You get to start the level. What a cool game, man! I really enjoy that game.
Absolutely, very cool, and it works really well. So it's always a plus. We played a lot of VR stuff. What
I made you try out Phasmophobia. It was my first time doing that with VR, and I don't know if I liked it. I had a elevated heart rate. I ended up dying, and then I did the thing where it's like, I know we were in Discord together, but like I was gonna be a bitch and be like, no, I'm gonna play by the game's rules, where when you're dead you don't talk. And I could see you like in the doorway, right behind the foyer, like not wanting to come in with your little flashlight, going, Christian, are you there? Hello? My body's just on the ground.
I'm not gonna lie, for a split second, I thought you were screwing with me and you were just laying on the ground, like just messing around. I'm like, he's not actually like dead in the game, like he's just fucking with me. And then I kept asking you, were like not responding. I was like, we're in Discord, why is he not responding? I'm like, what the hell? I was like questioning, is something wrong with him in real life? Like, what the hell's going on here? And then
dude, you were calling my name for almost 2 minutes.
I was. Yeah, I'm like,
I was trying not to laugh.
I didn't know what to do. I was like, Christian?
What was funny for me is that the moment you actually stepped through the doorway and back into the house, the door immediately closes all the way.
Yep.
And the ghost like goes straight for your neck immediately.
Yep, I freaked out.
We sucked at that level.
We did. Oh well. Christian, I've also been powering through The Last of Us Part 2, powering through it as much as possible, trying to get this done before I start Ragnarok. I hope I can get it done this weekend. That would be great. I have a day off Friday for the holiday, so I'm hoping power through it.
You're almost there.
Almost there. Seattle day 2 with Abby. So get there.
Day 3 is great, by the way.
Okay. Getting crazy. And also a little gem here, Christian. A lot of people online were talking about it, and I'm like, all right, fine, I'll download it on my phone. Marvel Snap. And I will tell you, I am enjoying the hell out of this game. I love it. I know you're shaking your head no, but I love this game. It is so much fun. It literally brings me back to my college days of playing Hearthstone nonstop in between classes and hanging out like in the lobbies and stuff. Like, I love it. It's so fun. The card game madness is back.
I'm so biased against like franchise stuff now. I remember I was talking to my friend, and he was talking to me like, he's like, should I check out Marvel Snap? Like, no, dude, like, don't buy into this like card game. Like, why don't you go play like fucking Hearthstone or something? And he goes, well, the people that made Hearthstone made this game. And I was like, oh, all right. Well, if you want to play it, then whatever, go for it.
Yeah. And it actually, like, in terms of the monetization of this game, I have not had any, like, there's been no like ads, no like pressure into buying stuff. Like, a lot of it is actually just most of it I think is just cosmetic stuff. Like, you can change the art on your cards, which I think is really cool. So yeah, props to them for their monetization style. I really like it. So what you playing?
Cool.
What you got?
Ragnarok, but we'll get that into the topic of the show. But there's one thing I want to mention. I made you get Pavlov with me.
Oh yes.
Which I love Pavlov. Like that, you haven't played like the modes that like I've played. Obviously, like there's a lot of like Trouble in Terrorist Town is fucking great. There's like the Battlefield inspired like, I mean it's VR. I think you can only do like what 30v30, maybe it's like 20v20. But like in these like large scale encounters, there's obviously a lot of custom maps. Like you would love the Halo maps, like especially for like team deathmatch or free for all. Like they're really cool. But like what I love about Pavlov is that it has like the most realistic reloading in any, I think, VR shooter. So it's like it's really fun. And so what I made Dan do was play Noctur und Toten, which is the very first Nazi zombies map from World at War. And like it's great. Like they have the they have the guns from World at War like on the walls and stuff. And they have the perks where you can pack a punch in this. But like we're in VR and it's so hard, dude. Like we're like in the spot upstairs. Like if you know the spot, you know. And we're like I'm crouched down in real life. I don't know what Dan's doing. We're like, when you have to reload, you're fucked, dude, because you gotta like reload and cock the whole damn thing, and it gets really intense, but it's so much fun.
Yeah,
we should play again.
I'm very excited to jump back in and check out some Halo levels, and that Battlefield mode sounds really cool too. Yeah,
it's fun. There's also like they have Gun Game. If you remember Gun Game from Black Ops. Yep. But like I play those on like Minecraft maps. It's hilarious.
What?
Yeah, it's great.
That's bizarre, but fun. All right. Moving in then to our topic of the show, Christian. Sonic Frontiers versus God of War Ragnarok. Here we are, Christian. We did it. What are our impressions? Just as a disclaimer here, I have played neither of these games. So
yeah, we were supposed to have Ro here so we can talk about both of these, but Ro wasn't able to make it. So I can't speak to Sonic Frontiers part, but I mean we should start there since
sure.
I don't know, we both have seen have you played any Sonic games before? Question mark.
I've played like the 2D Sonic games, never an open world Sonic game. So like Sonic Colors, I think.
Neither has anyone. This is like the first open world Sonic game.
Oh. Or 3D. I'm sorry, 3D Sonic game. I've never played a 3D Sonic game. I've played the 2D ones. Yes.
Sonic Adventure 2. I know people say like Let It Die, whatever already, but like that is the greatest Sonic game. I don't care what you say. So good.
I think I think that we kind of talked about this a little bit in our chat. I think that Frontiers is like a very intriguing game to me to pick up when it's on sale. Like, you know, next year, like maybe early next year, I guess after the March rush or February rush, maybe if it's on sale for like $30 or $20 or something, pick it up and check it out.
If it ain't on Game Pass or PlayStation Plus, I'm not picking it up. I'm
really?
Sorry. Like I have no. If I have time to go into my backlog, I'm sorry, but I'm not playing Frontiers. I'm gonna go to Persona 5 Royal or I guess apparently Mass Effect 2 since Dan wants me to play it.
Yes.
Like I want to be in it, and all my friends who are Sonic fans on Twitter like are posting about it because they're playing it. It's like, fuck, this looks really cool. The music is insane. When you're in combat, it's a character action game. That is so much my shit. But everything else in between is like, yeah, I'm not gonna waste my time playing something that's extremely mid and uninspired. You know, like taking the best things from obviously one of the biggest influences in games of all time, apparently, Breath of the Wild, but making it worse. I'm sorry, no, or making it bad, I should say.
I think
is not for me.
A lot of the environments that they created, it seems like way too bland. Like for how colorful and like spry Sonic is, you would think that they would have these beautiful and bright worlds and crazy colors and stuff, which I've seen, I've seen a one or two environments that I thought look really cool from Frontiers, but like a lot of it is like, just green grasslands and rocks, and I'm just like
empty. Yeah. And that's the thing with a lot of art design for, I don't want to call it just say Switch games because this is not a Switch game, but like Bayonetta 3. I haven't played it either. I love the Bayonetta games. I have problems with them, but I still love the series. I haven't dabbled in 3 yet because I had other games to finish, but like from what I've seen and what I've heard is that the art design in that game is a little uninspired too, where like the game just looks ugly. And it's like, well, why? I don't know.
Yeah, you may be onto something like the Switch holding it back technically, because obviously it has to run on the Switch, and I feel like Sonic is in like a unique position as well, because like obviously with Sonic being a super fast character, you have to load more things in the world at a quicker rate, because he's running through the world quicker than your traditional, character like Zelda, for instance. You're just walking through an environment. So maybe that's part of the issue, is like technically speaking, it was a big challenge for them.
And like changing the locales themselves doesn't make the game more interesting. I was listening to the Kind of Funny Games cast from, I guess, last week when they were talking about this. And it seems like consensus was that, yeah, there are different ecosystems, right? It's not just the forest, it's also a desert, it's also a snow place, there's also like a fireplace. But the game itself, like, doesn't get better or more interesting because you're in a different environment. It's just more of the same, but with a different backdrop. And that to me is like kind of a shame. When like 3D games from the past, like Sonic Heroes, which I love as well, like those games environments like changes the way you're playing the game. And one of the more like my favorites is the casino world, where you're playing on like these giant like pinball machines that you're like having to traverse to get to the next areas. Like that stuff is cool. It's a little gimmicky, sure, but like it's what makes Sonic Sonic. It's it's more Sonic bullshit, but like I don't feel that energy. And when I see an image of Sonic Frontiers, like it doesn't scream Sonic game to me. It seems like fan made kind of open world game, which kind of sucks.
Indeed.
I wish Ro were here. I hope he's having fun.
I think he is. Based on what he's been saying, I don't want to speak for him, but like it seems like Rose very much enjoyed. From what he said, it seems like he's enjoyed it thus far, which I love that for him.
Yeah.
I love that for him.
You see that video I sent you of the that player making the penis?
Oh yes,
closing the loop,
and it gives you coins. Like, is that like for doing?
I'm sorry. What?
What?
It gives you what?
Gives you coins, right?
Gives you what?
Or rings. I'm sorry, rings. I'm sorry. Yeah, I
How
screwed
dare
that
you?
up.
You can't.
I screwed it up.
They'll come. Dan, they'll come after us. They will come after us.
Shit.
We have to protect us.
Yeah.
Rings.
For a second, I was like, "What do you mean? They're oh, never mind. They're rings." Yeah.
Yeah, they're rings. Yeah. How dare you?
Sorry, I apologize, everyone.
We should both play Frontiers.
Yeah, I'm down. Like I said I might pick it up when it goes on sale. I'm fascinated. So.
Did you see the the fishing mini game?
Yes,
is broken.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
So there are collectibles that you have to get in the game, memory tokens, I think, and other kinds of tokens to upgrade your Sonic and then move on to like the next kind of areas or whatever. And you have to like improve or whatever, upgrade to move on. But if you don't want to do that, you can just fish for like a few minutes and then collect enough fishing tokens to use those tokens to buy your upgrade. So you don't have to be doing the actual minute gameplay of collecting things. You can just go fish and move on.
Go fish, nice. That's
fish.
A fun game. Can I just say, like, Sonic Frontiers is not the only culprit of doing this, but I hate when games that have like a very specific art style go and make their fishing mini game have the most realistic looking fish that I've ever seen. And I'm like, this is a Sonic game. Why are the fish
so funny?
Yeah.
The picture of Sonic and Big with the alligator, like the realistic alligator in front of them, is fucking hilarious, dude.
It's so weird.
You don't like that?
I don't like that. I'm like, no. There was another game that did that. I'm trying to think what it was, where the fishing mini game was almost the exact same thing, where it's like a stylistic type art style, and then the fish is like really realistic, and I'm just like, that doesn't.
I know Animal Crossing does this.
Okay, it might be Animal Crossing that I was thinking.
Yeah. Who cares? I think it's funny.
It's goofy. I don't know.
Yes, and that's why we love it.
That's fair. Okay, what about God of War Ragnarok, Christian? How does it match up against Sonic?
First of all, the final results are in, and 57% are saying Kratos will beat Sonic. So,
wow.
There you have it. Ragnarok. I texted the group. I started this game up last night. I texted both my friend and our group chat on Twitter saying one word, and that was just man. Because that game, man. Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm gonna try to say as much as I can without giving any, actually, without doing any spoilers. Just my feelings on playing the game itself. And did you like God of War 2018?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was probably one of my favorite games that year, if not. I can't remember what else came out that year, so I don't want to say my favorite, but it was up there.
Sure. Yeah. I would agree. I absolutely love 2018. It ended up being one in my list of like, I have a list on backlog of my games that I consider like masterpieces or whatever, like my 5-star and only games, and God of War 2018 is one of them. Ragnarok has the potential of being better than 2018, maybe based on the tone alone. There on the home screen of the main menu of the PlayStation 5, if you hover over it, like it plays like, the score, whatever, like the theme song for this one. And Bear McCreary like went off. Like I was getting sad listening to this music, and I haven't even started the game yet. And like you go into the game, again, no spoilers, but like obviously people talk about like the opening for 2018 being so iconic and memorable. And I think people will talk about this one in the same regard, because it is really freaking good. I wish I could go into specifics, but it is freaking great. So much so that today I watched the Kind of Funny stream, and they did the first 2 hours, and I wanted to watch them do it just so I could kind of relive that through someone else's experience. So I've been really enjoying it. I think the axe feels fantastic, if not better than it did in 2018. Like there are new power-ups and stuff that you can kind of use, like that change the mechanics just a little bit to make it feel more refreshing. My biggest kind of knock on Ragnarok is also my biggest positive note on it, is that it feels more like God of War 2018. Like when people were saying like this feels like a PS4 game, I was curious to see what they felt like why they were saying that. And I think from being only 3.5 hours in, I think I get a sense of why they were saying that, because it does feel more like God of War 2018, which, years later could be a bad thing, but it's also, the game was really good. So it's also a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of have an idea of where they're gonna start Ragnarok. I don't know. I'm just speculating. Just thinking how the first game ended. I have a feeling that it's gonna start where it ended. Obviously, don't confirm or deny this, but
I won't say anything. No,
that's just my speculation that they're gonna do that, but maybe not though. Like continue on that one shot type journey where it's just like, here we go, we keep going. Although I think about that and I'm like, wait, Atreus might be older in the trailers and stuff, so I can't remember.
Well, yeah, at the end of 2018, like when you finish that game and you go back home, it cuts to black and then it says years later.
Oh,
right?
Okay, I forgot that part. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense then.
Any questions you have for me that I can maybe answer so far, or that you would even want to know? You can say no. I have a couple more notes I could talk about.
Like how is the gameplay in terms of like, is there a lot of new things like in the sandbox?
I can talk about this.
Okay.
Gameplay, again, is kind of hard. Like I'm having to relearn the timing for the parry, which is like some of like the earlier kind of enemies you encounter, like it'll pop up on the screen saying like, do this to parry, but like really pay attention to the timing and the kind of attacks they're doing, because some of them you can't block, and if you miss your timing, like you're open to an attack. Same as kind of 2018, but like for whatever reason, like it feels a little bit harder in this. There are a couple of difficulty options that I closed the tab, but I'm playing I think it's called Give Me Balance, which is their normal thing, right in between. Yeah. And they're the harder ones. The last one says "Give me God of War," and like, there's no way I could ever play something like that. It's tough. I've died like twice now trying to like. I like playing games that like look presentable, like being Kratos. Like I want to use a moveset that would make sense, a pace that makes sense, and really like focus on timing and not spamming attacks. But I've learned to kind of I'm having to balance a little bit. Like I need to be aggressive because I'm Kratos. I have to be aggressive, and that has helped me with encounters a bit more. But yeah, it's tough. But like the enemy variety, it's there. This time around, though, I'm like not using. You have the Blades of Chaos again, obviously. And we saw them in trailers as well.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
yeah. You know those are in those a game. Like you get to use them, and I still think prefer the axe, which is
Really?
crazy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think the axe is one of the greatest weapons maybe in video game history. Like it's so good.
It is really
Very
good.
cool.
And it's almost identical to what like Thor would use in like a Marvel game if they ever made something like that with his hammer. Like that's
Yeah. Okay, the thing for me in 2018 when you would throw your axe and you would catch it,
yeah.
you could feel the weight of it like in your hands, like when you were catching. Like it felt weighty. Somehow they made that better, and it's obviously because of the use of this thing.
DualSense. Yeah.
The DualSense is cool with this, and it doesn't get in the way that I would think the adapter trigger would make swinging the axe around harder, but you don't feel it. Like it's mostly like when you're using it for like throws or charging it up. When it's just like moment combat, like it's not really getting in the way. It's like they were smart to use it only when necessary for like those kinds of R2 attacks, which is kind of nice.
Is there like different attacks for like the different pressures, kind of like Ratchet and Clank has, where like you have the one attack?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. That stuff is, I mean, not that I know of yet. Who knows? Like down the line, but like that stuff is cool. Like,
Yeah.
Returnal does the same thing, and I loved it in Returnal.
Very cool. I guess they may not do that since it's on PS4 also, obviously.
That makes sense. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's a great game. Like the visuals of it are insane. There was a comparison I saw today on Twitter of them comparing PC ultra settings versus PS5.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, like the visual fidelity of the PS5 like was outperforming the PC, which I thought was kind of crazy. You don't see that very often.
Wow. What mode are you playing on? What graphical mode?
Oh, so what did you show me? There was a graphic that Santa Monica Studios put out, and it was like
yes,
favor quality, whatever. I favor performance. I would much rather have like a high frame rate.
Yeah.
I don't care about like too high of a frame rate. Like I would prefer just a steady one that's locked. But the one that I chose is favoring performance, and it's unlocked 60, but I still get what is it, like VRR and HDR, all that good stuff.
That's a good pick. I think I'm gonna try it in the same mode that I did Last of Us Part 1 in, which is their quality mode that does 40 frames per second in VRR. So I feel like that felt really good to me in Part 1. So I'm interested to see, which obviously God of War, I feel like it's a little more action oriented than The Last of Us Part 1 is. So maybe I may want the performance more so in that game. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to check those out and see what feels better.
I would suggest you find that graphic again before you start, because they have a specific verbiage in their menus that translates to like the breakdown, like the unlocked 60 or locked at 40. But like they don't, for whatever reason, they don't have the details of what is doing what in the actual menu. So I had to pull this back open and make sure I was using the right permutation of those options.
Makes sense.
Cool game though. I'm only 3 hours in. I'm gonna be playing more tonight. Christopher Judge and I forget his name. That plays as Atreus. What's that actor's name? Steven something.
His name is Sonny.
Mid-90s cast. Yeah, Sonny. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, great off the bat. Like they have some electric chemistry.
Dude, Christopher Judge is incredible. I've loved him since I was a child. I'm watching Stargate SG-1. Me and my parents used really just me and my parents used to watch the heck out of that show back in the day. I love that show. Such a great sci-fi show. And Christopher Judge is fantastic in that as Teal'c. And yes, such a good pick to have him voice Kratos in the reboot and now this
sequel. Yeah. I guess he was also in Dark Knight Rises, which I didn't know.
Oh, he was? Oh.
Apparently, I'm looking at his
really?
Yeah, actography, whatever you want to call it.
Huh. I did not know that. Who did he play in that?
Who knows?
Interesting.
I don't know, for whatever reason I can't find that. Let me go down. Oh, he was in Marvel's Avengers as well?
Oh
game?
yes, he was Black Panther. I
Black
think.
Panther.
Yep.
That's cool, man. That's
Yeah.
cool. When was Dark Knight? 2013. Here we go. He was mercenary security number 4. shout out Christopher Judge.
Wow, that's incredible. He was the best mercenary security out there.
My last note on God of War before we end.
Yes.
Will this be better than 2018? Who knows? I haven't played the game yet. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm excited to. The game is going to be, I mean, it's already crazy enough starting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All gas, no brakes, question mark? We'll see. Will it be better than Elden Ring? Not a chance, no way. Can't be. Can't be.
I mean,
I refuse to believe that.
At this point, the game of the year discussion is Elden Ring versus God of War Ragnarok. I don't know that there's a lot of good contenders.
Sonic Frontiers.
Yeah. There's a lot of good contenders, but like I feel like it's going to be those two against each other at Jeff Keighley's show.
Yeah. We shall see.
Yes, we will. Indeed. Not from LA this year though, Christian. Not from
I thought about it, Dan. I thought about it.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't think about it for a second. I ain't getting tricked again. Getting tricked again. And Jeff didn't reach out again, just so we're clear. All right. Thank you again to everyone joining us live on YouTube and Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Thank you, Christian. Gage and Roshan will return. I am Daniel, and this has been Podcast PXN, and we are out. Much love, and keep on gaming.
I don't think to say.
It's nothing to say.
Sonic would body Kratos.
Oh man, wow.